Okay, I wanted to talk about how to write a Zabbix book. As I already told you, I wrote a few Zabbix books, so I will skip the introduction again. I was not aware of that I had to do the 2 talks the same day, so let's skip this part. So if you're interested in writing a book, or if you're thinking about writing a book, there are certain different options that you can choose from. First of all, there are services like LeanPub, Fulton Books, and a few others that can publish the book for you. You have to do everything by yourself, and they will publish it for you. Then there is another option. You can use publishers like PactPub, the one I used, O'Reilly, or a few others, and it's quite easy. You can count on them to help writing your book. So either you do it everything by yourself, or you ask the help from a real publisher, and they will try to guide you. So for the first option, you will have to figure out everything by yourself, the font, the topics, the format of the book. You have to write everything by yourself. Basically, you're on your own. Also, the promotion of the book is a bit difficult because they will not do anything. You have to promote your book by yourself. You have to go to user groups, etc., and say, hey, I've written a book. And so it's not easy. Also, you will have maybe an electronic version of the book, but not a real book that you can sell. So it's not always the same. Some people prefer electronic books, but others still prefer a real book. And when you have written your book, it's always nice to say to the family and the friends, hey, look, I've written my book. It's like something that you can touch. Also here is another advantage. You will earn most of the money and probably only pay a small fee to the guys who have published your book. Another thing is that you have more control over your book. You can write a book like you have intended to. You can also fix the price by yourself. There is no one in control, but there is also no one telling you what to do. So those are the advantages and the disadvantages. In the second option, you have the publisher, and he will help you probably with templates and questions. Normally when you write a book, you have like a template from your publisher, and your publisher will tell you, okay, just fill in everything that we need in the template, and we will do everything behind it. We have people controlling what you write. We have people seeing if everything that you have written is working in a production environment. So that is the help that you get from your publisher. The books will be reviewed before they are being published. So normally they will send it to some technical guys. They will check everything for you. They will control the spelling again, etc. There is a strict layout to follow from the publisher. This is probably a thing that you won't like, because the publisher has also his idea about the book. You have your ideas, and he has his ideas, and most of the publisher, they have like a format that they want to follow, so they're a bit limited. Topics decided together, but some limits may be set, like the number of pages, topics to cover. When you write the book, you have to think about what you're going to write. You have to set certain topics that you want to talk about. And the publisher may have also his own ideas about the number of topics, also the limit of the pages. If you see my latest book, I had an argument with PactPub because my book was finished, but there were too many pages. I went over the limit. So they removed 2 chapters, and they added it as a PDF. Not really a good thing, I think, but okay, it was their choice, and I had nothing to say about it. So it can be, a drawback. You will only earn a fee from the book sales and maybe a bonus if you deliver it before the deadline. It's something that you have to agree. But just know most of the part that is made by the sales is going to the publisher. You will only get a fee, and that you have to agree before you write the book. You will probably get some bonuses if you finish it before the deadline, etc. But just remember, it's probably not you who's getting rich from it. The book will be promoted by a publisher, so potential more sales, and it will also be printed. I think this is one of the big advantages. You have that sales channel from the publisher, but also you have a real book. So now you're thinking probably, why the fuck should I write a book? I mean, is it a fun project to do? It can be, but it all depends on you. I mean, it can be fun if you like to write. It can be fun if you like Zabbix, and if you want to play with it in the weekends, etc., then it's certainly a fun project. Is it a great opportunity to get in touch with the community? Absolutely. If you write your book, you have to go in touch with the community. You have to tell them what you're going to do. You have to ask them for input, etc. It's also a way to promote yourself or your business. If you're like an independent guy and you want to promote your own business, a book is probably the best way to promote your business. If you work for another company, it can be a good way to promote the business for this company as well, of course. It's also a great way to get some extra cash to spend on gadgets. If you have your book written, you get every 3 months like a check for your book, so you can buy some extra gadgets. Are there any drawbacks? Of course there are drawbacks. You will not have a life during the time that you write your own book. I mean, you wake up, you go to work, you come back from work, and what is the next thing that you do? You eat, and then you start with your book. You have to write every day, or at least every weekend. You have to set up all the things that you are talking about in your book. You have to test it, etc. So it takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of time to build a test environment, make screenshots, etc. Don't forget, we are talking about Zabbix. Zabbix is doing a lot of updates, so things change during the book. You have to make the screenshots again. You have to change things. You have to add extra text. So it takes a lot of time. You will spend more money on books as now you know how much work it takes to write one instead of downloading one illegally from the internet. Trust me, before I was like, oh, look, a new PDF, poof, download it and just read it. After you have written your own book, you know how much work it takes, and you just appreciate the time the writer has spent in those books, and you just buy it. So it's definitely a drawback. You will not get rich from it, but you can buy that new lens you always wanted to have, like I already said. You will not get rich from it if you go buy a publisher, but you get some extra money. You can buy some extra gadgets, so it's certainly a positive thing. Not sure if you can do it. A publisher that you like can, for example, be contacted so that you can review books that he has written before. Publishers always are looking for people who have technical skills to review their books. So this can be something that you can do. Some publishers are also looking for reviewers, and then when you review their books, you can, for example, get a free book from them. Some reviewers do this all the time, so they can get some free ebooks. So this is a way to get free ebooks, and also a way to learn how much time it takes, and if you really want to do this. Of course, it gives you the benefit that you can read the books before they come out, because if you review them, then you have the book already before it's in the shop. So this can also be a nice thing. And then if you do this a lot, then you get a lot of free ebooks. I don't know if you have any more questions about it, but just keep in mind, it's a fun project. If you like to write, if you like Zabbix, certainly try it out. But don't forget, it takes a lot of your time. If you have a wife, don't forget that you have a wife, else you will get probably in some divorce or something. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, microphone. Oh, hi. This is spontaneous, no rehearsal. He's surprised as much as I am. I think I have a couple of your books, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The one about Zabbix. And you use the publisher, right? Backpub. And you also researched the possibility of not using a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ask the audience, who here would like to write a book themselves? Just have a book, for yourself. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, maybe more. Okay, so you're absolutely right. And you can go to a publisher. Mm-hmm. He will guide you through the process. Now, I don't know what the rate is. You're from Belgium, I guess?
I'm from Belgium, yes.
You're from Belgium, I'm from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, the best you can get is 15% of the publishing price, mm-hmm. which is not the shop price, because that's about half of it. So in the end, you get €1, €5 for every copy sold. Mm-hmm. And if it would be a bestseller, 60, 70,000 pieces, that will be nice. On the average, it's enough to get a nice dinner somewhere. And after I'd written 4 books with a publisher, I got the end result on paper, as in the publisher made 20,000 euros and I got 600. And that didn't feel right with me. It's not the money, it's the, what's the word for it? It's the balance. So I started looking around and I found this thing called publishing on demand. Maybe you've heard of it. And with publishing on demand, I've written the last 4 or 5 books. I use a website called lulu.com, Lulu.com. It's completely free to use. You can even get an ISBN number for free, which other sites don't. And yes, you have to do your marketing yourself, or you hire somebody to do the marketing. But you can also determine the price yourself. So if you go to lulu.com, you upload a PDF of the content. It will tell you that's 400 pages. It will cost us, let's say, €6 to print. What do you want to make it as a selling price? So I enter 6, let's say 20. So that's the difference of 14. And from that 14, Lulu says, okay, you make a nice profit. We want 20% of that profit as well. But then, nevertheless, you still make a comparable nice profit if you sell the books or get sold. Now, if people are not aware of you as an author, I think a publisher is terrific because they do the marketing and I'm a techie guy. I know nothing about marketing. There is this lovely person who coordinated this event. She's in marketing. I'm not. This is why I lost my train of thought.
Lovely person. Marketing.
Yeah, works all the time. It happens to me all the time. Ask my wife. It's like, what, honey? Okay. Back to the book. I have this project, LibrePlan. And it's a web-based project management tool. It's open source. So it's got a website, libreplan.dev. And people go there, if they Google project management, somehow they end up on my website. And on that website it says, are you interested in the book? So it sells itself. So if, in your case, you would use self-publishing content, and you would get the people from Zabbix to mention your book on their site, redirecting to Lulu, would be interesting maybe. Now we come to the contents. And this is just my experience, your mileage may vary, whatever you like. The first book I wrote, just at the average text processor, LibreOffice, StarOffice even. And nowadays I use ASCII-Doc. That's sort of a wiki language. You can compile that to a PDF. And I use Inkscape to export to PDF the spread, the outside spread. And then it's easy to upload to lulu.com. And the thing is, you don't need to sell your book. You can also use Lulu, for instance, for a training manual in your company. Or, and by the way, I don't have any stock options at Lulu. It's just my thought about this. So if people like to write a book, it should be easy. Just go ahead, just do it. That's only the whole thing I want to add. So thanks for your talk as well.
I don't know who you used before as a publisher, but I can tell you that the rates at Packtube are a little bit higher than the 15.
Okay.
But we are not talking about 50%. That is, of course, true.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the Netherlands. I asked around, and even the big ones get 15%. Yeah. The big authors. So, well, maybe it's a country-dependent thing. Or maybe you're right. Maybe I could have done better. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.